Hey everyone, it's Ashley and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be doing a review and some tutorials using the Morphe James Charles palette. This palette was pretty hard to get. I know that they have had to restock it several times, but anyways, this is the outer packaging. It's a little hard to see because it is a matte black with shiny writing. It just says Morphe x James Charles. And I really like this palette so far. Here are all the shades. This has like every color you could ever need in it. It has a lot of different types of looks you can do. I've done neutral ones and colorful ones, so we'll see that in a little bit. I'll do some swatches and I'll give you some thoughts of the colors that I have used after each eyeshadow look. So let's get started. Couple other general things I wanted to mention about this palette. I know that you've probably heard this already, but he recommends using a eyeshadow primer for this palette, and I haven't tried it with concealer or something else, but I just used the Morphe eyeshadow primer. It works really well. I've used almost every shade in this palette and I've liked every look that I've come up with. I didn't even film all the looks that I have worn with this palette, so I'll probably be doing more tutorials in the future. Another thing I wanted to mention is it does come with this little plastic thing. I know you probably can't see it, but it has all the names on it, and I kind of wish it was on the palette or on the back even, but that's okay. I don't really care about that much. Anyways, let's get into the swatches. So I'm going to be doing some swatches. I'm starting with the top row and going from left to right. I'm not going to say all the names, but I am going to swatch all the colors. So let's start with the first row. So that is the first row. On to the second row. I am not the best swatcher, these are kind of all over the place, but here are the first two rows. They all swatch pretty nicely, but you'll have to see how they perform on the eyes. The middle row I'm just going to swatch on the back of my hand. Some of these shades are a little light, but they are very easy to build up. Onto the fourth row, which has some of the more colorful shades. That is the fourth row. I would have to say that this pink shade on the far side here is really hard to see, and I don't think it performs in the eyes very well either. That shade's not my favorite, but you can use it to blend it out. As for artistry, it doesn't swatch very well, but it does show up really nicely on the lid if you put it on top of another color. So that is the first row of colors. Here's the last row. Again, sorry my swatches are kind of all over the place, but I really like some of these last purples. I think that they are very pretty, and you can blend them out pretty easily. And that pink is just so unique, it's like neon. I love it. Anyways, there's the last row and the other row. For these looks, I'm going to be going in order from most neutral to most colorful. So the first look is going to be a super neutral look. I'm going to start with the shade Punch Me as my transition / crease. Also, if you see a little bit of pink or red on my eyes, that is just a tad bit of staining from the palette because I was using the pinks yesterday, but it's nothing too crazy and I can cover it up pretty easily. Next, I'm going to take the shade T and put that in the outer corner and crease. Next, I'm just going to blend. Next, I'm going to take the shade So Good on my finger and put that all over the lid. I'm going to take the shade T as the lower lash line color. And for the inner corner, I'm going to take the shade Ring Light. And lastly, apply mascara. Here is the finished look. So here is the finished look again. So I decided to pair this eyeshadow look with the ColourPop Satin Lip in Strip. I really like how this look turned out. As for the neutral shades that I used, they all performed very well. They blended really well. They were easy to build up. I really like all of them. The shimmer was really creamy, and I didn't really get a lot of fallout either. So overall, the neutral shades are a thumbs up for me. The next look is going to be a blue eyeshadow look. I've already applied the Morphe eyeshadow primer to my lids, so let's get started. I'm going to start by taking the shade Brother on a Morphe M573 brush and put that kind of in the crease area. Next, I'm going to take the shade Cola on a Morphe E18 brush and just place this in the outer corner and crease. Next, I'm just going to blend a bit. Next, I'm going to take a Morphe M213 brush with some setting spray, and I'm going to use the shade Hello on the lid. I added a second layer of Hello, and now I'm going to take a Morphe E36 brush with the shade Cola for the lower lash line. I cleaned up under the under eyes, and now I'm going to take the shade Ring Light as my inner corner highlight. And the last step, of course, is to apply mascara. So here is the finished blue look. Okay, so here's the finished look again. So I just applied some of this lipstick, which is Essence Barely There. Really like this lipstick. It's pretty much my natural lip color, just a little bit more pigmented. So I really like how this look turned out. I think the blues are pretty good for the most part. I would have to say Cola was a bit hard to use. I did have to layer that one a couple times, and the shimmer shade I did layer on twice, but I think that the finished result is really good. And again, this palette is not that expensive for the shades that you get. Like, you get so many shades for $39. I think that is worth it. And let's move on to the next look. For this next look, I will probably be showing you both of my eyes because I'm going to try to recreate this rainbow look by James Charles. I've never done a rainbow look before, so we'll have to see how this goes. As with all of these eye tutorials, I have already primed my eyelids, and I'm going to be applying the shade B in the inner portion of the crease. I am starting with the red eye, which is more of the warmer tones. And I will be cleaning up the fallout later. So I didn't really want it to be right here in my inner corner, but I'm going to fix that later with a makeup wipe. And we're just going to keep going. I'm going to put the shade 518 right next to that yellow. On top of that, I'm going to take the shade Rested. Next, I'm going to take the red shade You're Kidding and put that in the outer portion. I'm going to take a clean brush and just kind of blend the edges a little bit. I feel like I need a little bit more orange, so I'm going to add a little more of the shade Rested. Next, I'm going to take the shade Love That on the outer corner. I'm also going to kind of put that a little bit along this edge here, and this is going to kind of start to go in the lower lash line a little bit. For the lower lash line, I'm just going to kind of do the same shades, but on the lower lash line. So that was You're Kidding. Next, I'm taking Rested. And last but not least is B. So I am going to probably clean up a little bit, and then I will be back to do the lid. Changed my mind, I'm actually going to do some concealer and kind of cut the crease. I'm going to take my finger in the white shade Flashback and just kind of keep pressing that into here. I'm kind of using this to set this in a way, so I'll just keep adding another layer or two of that. I cleaned it up a bit, but I would like to add a little bit more of Love That to the outer corner area. To finish the eyeshadow, I'm going to apply the shade Ring Light to the inner corner. And of course, to finish it off, I'm going to apply mascara. Here is the first eye all complete. I am pretty happy with it for my first attempt. I definitely want to do some more rainbow looks in the future, but let's move on to the next eye. So now we're going to move on to the next eye. I haven't really filmed on this other eye before, but we'll see how this goes. Anyways, I'm going to start by taking the shade Social Blade and putting that right in the inner corner area, kind of like how we did the yellow. For the blue shade, I'm going to take the shade Brother and place this where we placed the orange. I am adding another layer of some of these colors after I record the first layer. Anyways, I'm going to be going into the shade Escape and using this in the outer portion of the crease. I'm going to take a brush that doesn't have any product on it and just kind of blend the edges a little bit. And I may add another layer of these colors and repeat these steps just to make them a bit more vibrant. Next, I'm going to take the shade Single and put this in the outer corner and outer crease. I'm not sure why my camera keeps focusing weird. Hopefully you can kind of see that. I'm also kind of running this along the outer edge of the lower lash line. Next, I'm just going to start layering the colors that we have on the upper crease on the lower lash line. I think in the future I might just try to layer on the white instead of doing a cut crease with the concealer because it's just a little bit hard for me. I'm still not used to cut creases, and if I mess up, it kind of messes up like a lot of the rest of the eye look, but since we did it to one eye, we're going to do it to the other one. And again, taking Flashback and putting that on top. I am going to put another layer or two on that as well. I'm going to take the brush that I had the purple on and just kind of blend this edge here a little bit. And like the other eye, I'm going to put Ring Light in the inner corner. I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara off camera and then show you the final look. So here is this eye, all complete. Okay, so this is the finished look. I did just apply ColourPop strip for my lip color. I really like how this look turned out. It's not the best, but I definitely am very proud of this look, especially since it is my first rainbow look. A couple little things I wanted to mention. In this palette, there wasn't a lot of fallout on my face. There was a little bit in the pans, especially with the rainbow matte shades, but that doesn't really bother me that much. They apply so well on the eyes and they blend out beautifully. I would definitely recommend this palette. I think that this is going to conclude this video. If you liked it, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Let me know what other looks you would like to see with this palette or any other palette that I own, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!